Hey there everyone, this video is being made for the latest Necchi vintage sewing machine that I've restored. This particular model is called the Necchi BU Nova. Now the BU series of Necchis, there were several BU models and I don't see them very often, but when I do, I try to get good candidates for restoration because they are legendary machines. These machines were created by Vittorio Necchi, who was an Italian industrialist, and his company made industrial sewing machines, and then they introduced one for the home, a domestic model. They had the BU, and then they had the BU Nova, they had the BU Mira, and sort of a series of BU models. Some of them were straight stitchers, and if you see one that says BF, then that's a straight stitch, but the BU models had both straight and zigzag capability. And this is one of them. This is one of the ones you're seeing here. They were made in Pavia, Italy, and they were made to incredible standards. The tolerances for the parts as they come together were so tight that it makes for an extra quiet machine. There are certain people who I tend to sell these machines to. They tend to be more popular with people who do upholstery, people who do sail repair, people who own boats or sell boats, and then people who just simply want a machine to sew a whole variety of materials, including garments. You could sew very lightweight fabric with this machine. It will do all of it for you. But if you have the need for heavier duty stuff, this is one of the strongest home machines that you can get. And all of the restoration and overhaul things that I've done to the machine, they'll be on the listing. But I wanted you to see, again, the materials that the machine can sew through. The machine comes with a really nice mahogany sewing table. And this sewing table would have been one of the quote, deluxe models because instead of being a side table model, it actually has, it's more of a desk, and it has a series of drawers with storage compartments and so forth. And every time you went to a fancier sewing table, you spent more money when these machines were new. So the tables were extra. You bought the machine, then you bought the table, and then they had all sorts of accessories and things you could buy with it. But now I have in here, I've installed a size 16 jeans needle. And I do this because a lot of the people who come to me for machines, they're looking for something that is strong enough to sew heavy materials. I should probably do a video sometime just showing lightweight materials because these machines sew lightweight stuff beautifully. If you sew lightweight cottons, these machines would be a wonderful fit for you. But the reason you see me sew all this heavy stuff is because a lot of people also want the capability to do this. I don't even know if I showed this in the photo, but anyway, there's a lovely built-in ruler on this table. That some of the tables had it built in. But anyway, right now I'm going to sew for you. This is sort of a mid-weight cotton material. It's part of a cargo pant, and I've used this on several demonstrations before. And of course, it's going to have the rolled seam, so it'll be a good way for you to see the way the machine performs. Then I'll do a few other materials for you guys. This is a class 15 machine, so it uses class 15 bobbins. Show you how she back tacks, and it does it beautifully. These bobbins hold more thread than virtually any other home sewing machine bobbin. They're easy to find. And right now I'm just doing a long straight stitch. And it goes right through that seam, like I say, with no problem at all. I'll come over here and then I'll demonstrate the zigzag. And the zigzag is a beautifully simple to adjust mechanism. I just turn this little thumb screw, which, see if you can see, there we go. I just turn this little thumb screw and I can instantly go to zigzag. I'll show you the stitches up close in just a moment. Do a little back tacking on the zigzag. Then I'll come over here and I'm going to shorten the stitch so that we can see. I want to see it do a very tight zigzag, which I believe the Neckis do better than any other sewing machine. You can literally get a satin stitch. I'm sewing a little faster here. I wanted you to be able to see that the machine can run fast. You often see me going slow, but I try to, most of the time I'm sewing slow in these videos because I'm trying to get it to show up on the camera. It's pretty fast. Now, I'm going to take this out and get my thread snips here. I'm going to double this fabric because I want you to see it go through two, or actually 4 layers plus. When I take, let's let you actually see the seams first. Now this is white thread, so let me come over the back and you'll see, you can see the red a lot better. But you see how it goes right over the seam. Let me double this. I've done this before in videos. It seems to work really well. So I'm going to double this, and now I'm going to have, I don't know how many layers of fabric is in 2 of those rolled cargo pant seams, but I'm guessing it's pretty up there. I'm going to come back to my straight stitch, and just a chance to point out to you here, this machine is one of the few vintage machines that has the machines that have adjustable needle position, so you can go left, right, or center. I have it in the center. Most of you will do that, but you have that option. It's kind of nice. Not all vintage machines will let you do that. So I'm going to now come down. Let's do a long stitch. And it went right over it. And in fact, it actually, you can see where I doubled this over. And again, it goes right across those seams with no problem. That's an impressive test of a sewing machine and its abilities. Okay, I just put in some coated vinyl. This is sort of a high density vinyl that might be used for outdoor awnings. And I'm gonna show you that the machine really loves materials like this. And again, you know, most new home machines just simply won't do this kind of work. They won't do it. They will not sew through anything really heavy and dense. This machine is wonderfully quiet, and I attribute that to the Italian design, how it was engineered. Now this is a fabric, I actually have 2 layers of this. This is a heavy upholstery fabric. You might use this for maybe a slip cover, or actually just upholstery, period. Very thick and heavy and dense. And, you know, again, the machine is going to sew right through it. Most of these vintage machines, if you can get the material under the foot, you know, and you have space, usually it will sew for you really well. I mean, usually you can tell, and they'll talk to you, and they'll let you know if they can't. So here you see the red thread, my bobbin thread. It's going to show up a little bit better than the white. And then lastly, I've got some garment leather. A lot of customers ask me about, can they sew leather? And again, the Necchi is more than strong enough to do this. Now again, this is a jeans needle, so if you are going to be sewing any leather of any volume, you want a leather tip needle. And this is this is a zigzag foot. Keep in mind that sometimes you might want a roller foot. Some leathers will bind under the foot, and the problem is not the power of the machine, but it's the friction that leather has with a lot of sewing feet. But a roller foot will take care of that. I don't think I'm going to need one here, and in fact I'm not. But it's a good thing to have, and I like to keep a roller foot handy. Just a little back tack here. And I'll show you guys, yeah. So the pink were the earlier stitches I had done, but these white stitches are just beautiful, very uniform. Again, this machine, it has the power to sew just about anything you're going to want to sew at home on a home basis. People have all sorts of projects that they take on with these. But if you research the Neckis, you will see that they are coveted by people, particularly people who like to do upholstery work. And they have high shank feet, so you can get them online. I have a number of feet. I think I showed them in the photos for the listing. But you can find tons of other feet for these. I suspect that, like I say, straight and zigzag are going to be most of the stitching you'll do here. But anyway, if you have any questions, please email me. As you can see, I have a ton of different types of materials here. If you want to sew light fabrics, I can certainly, I have light fabrics as well. We can demonstrate, or you can bring your own material. And I often recommend to people that it's always best to test a machine in person instead of buying one online from someone. And then bring your own material if you have some that you think you're going to want to sew, and that's one of the best tests. But I have different types of needles, and again, we can set the machine up to sort of test for the materials you think you'll be sewing on it. So anyway, thanks for watching and bearing with my long videos here, but I like to share as much information as I can. One last thing to say about Necchi. Any new Neckis are not made in Italy, but the original ones like this were. And the Necchi was the very first home sewing machine to offer zigzag. It was a revolutionary thing. It had only been in industrial machines, but again, the Necchi company was an industrial sewing machine maker, and they took their knowledge of zigzag or overcast, overlock, and they brought it to home sewing machines. So they were the first, and this is considered by a lot of collectors as being one of the best and most heavy duty of the domestic machines ever built. And this is an early 1950s machine, and it is ready to go for quite a few years. So anyway, any questions you have, just let me know. Thank you.